Greetings all you gorgeous garden gnomes. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. My education background is actually in kinesiology and health promotion, but I love gardening. So I'm going to start to combine the two and provide some educational videos on how the two are related. So mechanics of gardening, body mechanics, and the nutrition and exercise science that is involved with gardening and farming and landscaping activities. So if you like this type of educational content and you want to see more of it, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. We are trying to get monetized as soon as we can so that we can put that money into our Kawartha Backyard Farms project, where we help people in the city of Kawartha Lakes start their own backyard farms and create a food secure community. It is interesting to know that the longest living and thriving individuals on this planet are people who inhabit the blue zones. There are 5 regions that make up the blue zones. They are Loma Linda, California; Nicoya, Costa Rica; Sardinia, Italy; Icaria, Greece; and Okinawa, Japan. But why are people in these areas living so long? Are there 5 ponds of eternal life that are specifically located in these areas? No. Are these groups secretly vampires who suck the life force out of researchers who unexpectedly come to study their long life? No. Are these people descendants of ancient aliens who mixed their DNA with early humans and passed along their genes for long life? Possibly. I'm not willing to rule this one out just yet. No, these individuals are living long and prospering because they are very active, take part in very little sedentary activities, consume a healthy and varied diet, and they live within an environment and culture that supports and promotes physical activity. There is a dose-dependent association between physical activity time, intensity, and mortality. Simply put, the more physical activity that we do, the less likely that we are to suffer severe health consequences. This isn't a recent revelation, yet people in Canada and the United States still struggle to achieve the minimum 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity that our health professionals are always recommending. But why? There are a number of reasons why we are struggling to achieve these minimal recommendations for physical activity. They include time, energy levels, cost, specifically cost to join a gym or cost to join a activity group. Cost is a false barrier, in my opinion, to physical activity and a long and healthy life, despite what our research would suggest about socioeconomic status and physical activity and health. Research in the blue zones flies in the face of our conventional thinking about socioeconomic status and physical activity and health. Individuals who live in the blue zones, despite being low socioeconomic status, are of the longest living individuals on the planet, regularly exceeding 80, 90, 100, and even up to 110 years old. Due to their lifestyles requiring long durations of moderate and vigorous physical activity, they are able to continue working long after typical North Americans have retired. They also maintain their independence much longer than typical North Americans enter into retirement homes. I also believe that we make time for what we value. In North America, cultural values have emphasized money and sedentary activities over more physically active jobs and physically active leisure time. As for energy, I also believe that we aren't just what we eat, but we are what we do. So if we want to feel more active and energized, then we need to be more active. So what kind of activities are contributing to the long and prosperous lives of inhabitants of blue zones? Primarily, these individuals are involved in manual labor careers, such as agriculture. Their primary mode of transportation, as well as leisure time activity, is walking. And in the research, gardening occurs frequently as a common leisure time activity. Their diets consist primarily of plant items, with meat and animal products occurring very rarely on a day-to-day basis. Gardening activities like making a vegetable bed and performing maintenance on the garden require similar intensities to that of walking or performing a general strength workout. As well, tasks like planting transplants, mixing soil, watering, harvesting, sowing, hoeing, mulching, weeding, and raking have all been found to require moderate to vigorous levels of intensity. Of significant importance when we age is the maintenance of lean mass, primarily muscle mass and bone mass. Sarcopenia is the wasting of muscle mass and is responsible for a lot of the lost strength that occurs as we age. A study on the effects of gardening in older adult women showed that compared to a control group, gardening helps to maintain lean mass. Maintaining lower extremity or leg strength is also important as we age, as it allows us to maintain a certain level of independence and continue with the daily functions that we enjoy. In one study, individuals who perform sufficient amounts, that is 2 or more days per week, of heavy gardening, had higher leg strength than those who did not perform any gardening. One of our leading causes of death in North America is heart disease. Many older adults who have experienced a heart attack fail to achieve the recommended activity levels post-rehabilitation. Once the rehab exercise programs end, individuals experience increases in their peak heart rates and systolic blood pressure, and have higher perceived exertion levels when performing the same exercise tasks as they did previously. However, if individuals take up gardening after the initial rehab phase is over, as did the individuals in this study, they actually maintain fitness levels that they had achieved in rehab. The gardening group also maintained their body weight, while the non-gardening group experienced a slight decrease, indicating that the non-gardening group likely lost some muscle mass. But don't wait to have a heart attack to take up gardening. Individuals participating in this hospital-based community gardening program who had one or more cardiovascular disease risks lowered their blood pressure, decreased their resting heart rate and BMI, and increased their consumption of fruits and vegetables. And finally, another reason why typical North Americans are not living as long as residents of the blue zones is the increased risk of sustaining a fracture. In this study of 370,000 postmenopausal women, gardening was found to be independently associated with a reduced risk of lower limb and hip fractures. So, by starting a garden, you can save money, enjoy fresh vegetables, skip the gym, and live a longer and healthier life.